up, everybody?
Today we are making Bokashi. So for those of you who don't know, Bokashi is a Japanese word meaning fermented organic matter. So first up, there are many different recipes to make Bokashi. Today we are using a recipe from Alan Rosenberg's Organic Agriculture Handbook, purely because we get our stock EM from him, which we make our multi-EM from. So Bokashi needs 3 ingredients to make Bokashi. First, you need your microorganisms, which is our EM. You need some sugars, which would be their food. In our case, it's molasses. And then you need your housing, which in our case, the housing is bran. So those are the 3 things we're using for our Bokashi today. If you haven't seen the video on how Michael makes the EM, check out the video here. If you don't see it, either we didn't know how to put it on or you're not watching this video on YouTube. So for our recipe today, we are using, like I said, bran, and we are using a 20 kg of bran. So this 20 kg of bran is going to be put into a 25-liter bucket, and we know this fits because we've made this recipe before. And then these are our liquids. So we are going to use 1% multi-EM, 1% molasses, and 30% water. Good clean water, no tap municipal water, we're using rainwater. How we work out what volume of water to do, so it's 30% of the volume of the bucket. So 30% of 25 liters is 75 liters. So we have 7.5 liters. So we have 7.5 liters of water, good clean water in here. We have 75 moles of molasses, which is the sugars, which the microorganisms are going to eat. And then we have our multi-EM, 7.5 moles as well. This doesn't have to be too specific. It's not like a science project where if you mess it up, it will just explode. So it's okay if you slip up a little bit. I did. Anyways, so what I've done is I've mixed all my wet ingredients in here. I've also used some warm water just to melt the molasses a little bit, and then I've added it to my mixture over here. What we're going to do, we're going to take our bran, we're going to slowly mix in the water, and then we are going to put it in a bucket, stuff it down, and let it ferment. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to do a little bit at a time, because there's a certain test that you do to check if the moisture is good. You don't want it too wet. You also don't want your mixture too dry. And then I'm just going to splash a little bit of water. And this is really going to be a product that we use in our garden, for our animals, in our bucket for our kitchen waste, and even in our compost. Okay, now that I've filled up the wheelbarrow and we've used quite a bit of our liquid, I'm just making sure that the inoculant is well absorbed into the substrate. So you can see over here that it makes little balls, which is really a moisture cluster. And if we just break it down a little bit, it becomes like a paste, and we don't want a paste. And then we just mix it in with the dry bran. This is also quite a nice activity to do with a group. So Michael's going to help me incorporate all the liquid and the dry together. Okay, so we are going to start filling our buckets. We've done the sausage test, which if I take a handful, I give it a little squeeze. There's no water coming out, but it's holding nice and firm, and that's really the consistency we want. And we're just going to make sure that we pack it very tightly. We don't want any oxygen, because this is an anaerobic fermenting process. Then we get it going. Okay, I've put in a layer. Now I'm just pressing all the air out, and it compacts quite a bit. Okay, so our bucket is full. We left a little space on top, a little air space. What we're going to do next is layer some newspaper on top. This will absorb any moisture that forms, and then we're going to close the lid. Make sure that you've got a nice tight lid because this is an anaerobic ferment, and then we're going to put it in a cool, dark place. Okay, so now we're going to let this ferment for 4 to 8 weeks. When it's ready, it will have a sweet, pickly smell. I quite like the smell of bokashi. And then we'll be using it in our garden, with our animals, in the compost, to break down our food waste. You could even use it in your composting toilet. So this is like one of those super things you can make for yourself and be more self-sustainable at home. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If not, move along. If you did, give it a little thumbs up, and we'll see you guys when our brew is done.